Welcome, and thank you for tuning in for the partnership Lake Houston's Humble BizCom. I am Connie Chandler, owner of Minuteman Press, and I'm the 2021 chairman of the Humble BizCom. For our Zoom guests, you will notice that you are muted, and all guests will remain muted throughout the program. If you have questions or need assistance, please use the question and answer function located at the bottom of your screen. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, you can submit a question in the comments section, and we will submit it to our Zoom meeting platform of speakers. We have a lot to cover today, and we have a wealth of information to receive from our speakers. Today, we will hear from Dr. Chris Langan, Chief Medical Officer with Memorial Hermann Hospitals, to discuss updates on COVID-19 vaccine. Dave Harvey, Vice President of Southwest Business with Southwest Airlines, to provide us with details of Southwest Airlines' return to George Bush Intercontinental Airport. Teiji Kawana, President of JSL Foods, to explain their production of Asian foods right here in Humble. Sam Schrade will discuss DNA Studios, adding bigger footprints in the area with his construction of his new studio. Jennifer Wooden, overview of events at Charles Bender Performing Arts here in Humble. Jerri Monbaron will provide us with updates on the Humble Livestock Show and Rodeo. And Corey Turner will share information on Partnership Lake Houston's Run, Walk, Discover Lake Houston. We want to recognize our fabulous sponsors. As always, we need our business sponsors to make programs like BizCom available for our members and our greater Lake Houston community. The Humble BizCom sponsors include presenting sponsors Memorial Hermann Northeast and Rosewood Funeral Home. Gold sponsors are Chick-fil-A, Wilson Road at Beltway 8, HEB North Park 59, and McCord Development Generation Park. If your business is interested in being a sponsor, please contact the Partnership Lake Houston and let us know. Your sponsorship funds support the efforts of Partnership Lake Houston, which enables us to help businesses recover and succeed. Now more than ever, small businesses need help, resources, and guidance the partnership can provide. If your business has not been negatively impacted by the pandemic, please consider sponsoring a program or sponsor a membership for a small business. To start things off, we will hear from our presenting sponsor, Justin Kendrick from Memorial Hermann Northeast.
Good morning and welcome to Partnership Lake Houston's virtual BizCom. Memorial Hermann Northeast is proud to provide support as a co-sponsor for this session. Following several months of near endless challenges, the promise of a brighter new year is finally here. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been Memorial Hermann's goal to provide our patients and communities with the quality care they need and deserve, no matter the circumstance. Over the course of this rapidly evolving pandemic, Memorial Hermann has worked closely alongside local health and government agencies to develop guidelines and protocols that will enable us to continue to protect and care for our patients. Memorial Hermann has been fortunate to receive large shipments of both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. At this time, and in accordance with state guidelines, we are pleased to offer the COVID-19 vaccination to frontline healthcare workers, as well as employees and established patients who meet the state's criteria by invitation only. Memorial Hermann is actively working to expand capacity, and we look forward to making the vaccine available for additional patient populations and members of the community just as soon as possible. In a few minutes, you'll hear from my colleague, Dr. Chris Langan, the Chief Medical Officer of Memorial Hermann Northeast and Memorial Hermann the Woodlands, as he shares more information about the vaccine and answers your questions. And of course, we will continue sharing the latest developing information on our website at www.memorialhermann.org/coronavirus and through Memorial Hermann's social media channels. While the ongoing rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine serves as a giant step in our journey towards normalcy, I urge you, as good stewards of the community, to remain vigilant in continuing to take the precautionary measures proven to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Please lead by example and encourage your coworkers and loved ones to continue following safeguard protocols. Wash your hands often, wear a mask in public, social distance, and limit group celebrations to your immediate household.
Thank you, Justin. Our next speaker is the Chief Medical Officer for Memorial Hermann Northeast and the Woodlands. Welcome, Dr. Langan.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And again, great to be here. Thanks for having me speak. So again, I'm the Chief Medical Officer for both campuses, Memorial Hermann Northeast and Woodlands. I'm also an active practicing emergency medicine physician. I've been practicing at Memorial Hermann Northeast since 2010. So a lot of experience in the community. I'm going to go ahead and, okay, so our usual canned slides. Again, we're going to be talking about the COVID-19 vaccines. And I only have about 10 minutes, so it's going to be a little bit quick. I just want to give everyone a pretty good overview of what's going on with the disease process and why the vaccines are important and how they work. So this is the culprit. This is this little jerk that's invaded our world. This is the COVID-19 virus. And as you can see, this virus has these unique red spike proteins in this picture. I don't know if they're actually really red. They're really small. No one knows what color they are. But these are really the culprit and what's causing a lot of the damage to us as humans. So way back when we actually lived in the water. So first life on Earth was in the water, and not the first, breathing life, I would say, had gills. So when we decided to get out of the water, we actually took a little bit of the ocean with us. So normally water will go over gills and oxygen will diffuse into those gills, into the bloodstream. And that's how you get oxygen for your metabolic processes. As higher mammals, it's a little bit different. So this is inside of our lung cells. There's two types of cells. One is the structural type cells. That's a type 1 pneumocyte, we're going to call it. And the second type of cell is the type 2 alveolar cells. And that helps make our ocean and our water. So these cells make a fluid that's kind of consistent with seawater. And this enables oxygen that comes into the lungs. It helps it dissolve across the membrane into the bloodstream. So without this surfactant, we're in a lot of trouble. And the problem is that virus attacks these cells specifically. So these type 2 pneumocyte cells have a receptor called the ACE2 receptor that the virus will come in, its spike protein attaches to the cell, gets into the cell, destroys the cell, and then we can't make that surfactant. And so we start having a lot of trouble breathing. And this is just an artist rendition of that process happening. When we get COVID-19, we first have the initial viral response phase. And then after that, we get this crazy inflammatory phase in some patients. Some people just get a little cold and they're done after the viral response, and some people go into the inflammatory response phase. So again, it's those type 2 pneumocytes that are really attacked by the virus. Right now, just to put in perspective what's going on, is this is our first peak in July. This is our dashboard of the system. Case numbers went way down. This is about in September. And this is where we are right now. So we're again in this quite a large peak currently, over 100 cases at Memorial Hermann Northeast right now. And we have over 900 cases in the system currently. So again, we had some good social distancing, isolation, shut everything down, which is really harmful for business activities, obviously. And as we open things back up, people started mingling, the holidays. We produced another huge peak right now. This is a normal chest X-ray. And the next chest X-ray is what happens when you get COVID-19 in that inflammatory phase. Again, those type 2 cells have all been destroyed. You can't make that surfactant, that saltwater layer, and all this inflammation occurs. This is the same image on CAT scan. These are nice, healthy lungs, nice and clear. This is how it should look, nice and black, this healthy lung tissue. And I think this is actually the same person. This is when they got COVID-19. You can see all that black, healthy lung tissue. There's a little bit left there, turns to this mess. So there's no surfactant, cells are dying, things are released, huge inflammatory processes. And we see patients that actually look much worse than this. Their whole lungs are weighted out with COVID-19. So we do have some treatments. The treatments are okay. There's been no medical cure to date, but so vaccines really are one of our only hopes to get a handle on this and get life back to normal. So there's 4 ways to make a vaccine in general, and I'm going to talk about the top 2. So there's genetic code vaccines, which we inject actually genetic material into the body. There are viral vector vaccines where we inject genetic material into the body, but we put it into another virus. And then there's subunit vaccines where we would just take some proteins or some things the virus are made of, put it in a syringe and inject into the body and make a reaction to that. And then you can also have a weakened vaccine. So you can make a weakened COVID-19 virus, and that could be injected into the body. And there's companies doing all of these right now. So the first ones I'm going to go over, the ones that are out now, are Pfizer and Moderna. So those are genetic vaccines. And the way this is it's really crazy how this works. So they've actually sequenced the genetic code for that spike protein. So they identified the virus. They were able to have the whole code, found out which part of that genetic code made just the spike protein. And then recently they've been able to put that into like a lipid particle. So it's like a little fatty particle, and they put the genetic code for the mRNA in there. And so mRNA makes proteins. So they inject that particle into your body, into the muscle cells. And then inside the muscle cells, there's a little thing in the cell called a ribosome, you may remember from biology class way back when, that will take that mRNA and they will turn that into the spike protein. So it actually, you use your own machinery to run that mRNA. So you're making like millions, billions of these little spike proteins, and then your body recognizes that as foreign and then makes antibodies, and you can start getting rid of that. And that's the Pfizer vaccine. The Moderna vaccine is very, very similar. So same thing, if there's mRNA inside this lipid molecule, it gets injected. This is a nice slide because it shows the next steps too, where it's actually taken to the lymph node. And the lymph nodes help other white blood cells recognize that this is a foreign substance and we need to get rid of it. And so the body gets ready to attack the spike proteins. And because all these viruses are coded in the spike proteins, those white blood cells will attack the virus as well. So again, they're very similar. So when you look at Pfizer and Moderna, the only real difference is in their lipid particle and how it's preserved. mRNA is very unstable. So this is the first time we've ever been able to do this in humans. But the Pfizer vaccine in the fridge will only last 5 days. It has to be at negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you can store it for about 6 months. Moderna just has to be at -4, and it will last a little bit longer, last a month in your fridge. Pfizer, you need the booster in 3 weeks, so you have to schedule that when you get your first vaccination, and Moderna's in 4 weeks. Pfizer, they found that you're immune in about 7 days, Moderna in about 2 weeks. They're both about 90% effective. No real serious safety concerns about these vaccines. They're cost about $20 a dose, and both companies claim they can make 1.3 billion doses this year. This is actually the refrigerator that we had to get for our Pfizer because that was the first vaccine that was out. This is Craig. He's in charge of our facilities. He actually fell in. He got a little frozen. We were able to defrost him, no problem. Very safe. This fridge will actually hold thousands and thousands of doses. When we get a shipment in, it's actually usually a small box. Each vial contains 6 doses of the vaccine. So that's what's out right now. The other vaccines that are going to be coming out very soon is AstraZeneca. It's actually, I spelled Oxford wrong. It should be Oxford. They We're in collaboration in England. And there's a chimpanzee up here. And the reason is they took a chimpanzee cold virus, so a chimpanzee adenovirus. And what they did is they took out the DNA of that virus and replaced it with the DNA of the COVID virus that would then make mRNA when it gets into your cells, and that mRNA makes the spike protein. So it's very similar, except they're kind of one step upstream. The nice thing about DNA is it's very, very stable. Whereas RNA is like a single-stranded nucleic acid. DNA is double-stranded, so much stronger, and it lasts a lot easier. And we'll go over that in a little bit. And then Johnson & Johnson did the same thing with an adenovirus, a human cold virus. They took out its genetic material, put the DNA for the spike protein in there, and as the virus gets injected into your body, it goes again into the cell, takes the DNA molecule, makes that the RNA that we were talking about, and then that RNA gets turned into spike proteins. So same exact mechanism, again, just a little bit upstream. The nice thing about the DNA is it'll last 6 months in your fridge. It probably will last longer. We're actually just not sure for both of these. AstraZeneca, you need a booster in about 4 weeks. Johnson & Johnson's, you don't actually need a booster. AstraZeneca, it's 62% effective after the first 2 doses. There was some weird study protocol where they gave a half dose and a full dose. They found that 90% effective, so that's probably what they'll end up doing. Only costs $3 a dose compared to that $20 a dose, and they said they can make about 3 billion doses. And Johnson & Johnson is actually having some good traction as well. We're still waiting for some data. They think it'll cost about $10, but again, you do not need a booster. So side effects are very similar in all these. So you will get pain at the injection site. 80% of people get headache. Fever is also very common. Some people will feel run down, especially when they're getting the 2-phase booster vaccine, where they may feel ill, just kind of as you would if you got the flu shot. But overall, these have been proven very safe. There's a lot of stuff in the news. There is a potential to have an allergic reaction, and we do watch patients for about 15 minutes after they've been injected. But to me, it would make more sense to watch people 15 minutes after in our cafeteria, because there's probably a higher risk of them having a food allergy than they would having an allergy to the new vaccine. So we haven't seen any of those reactions at my sites. Currently in the system, we've vaccinated 52,000 individuals. 39,000 have completed dose 1, 10,000, dose 2, I'm sorry, is 13,000. So 13,000 people have completed totally. There's still a lot of fear around it, and 40% of people are opting out. And I think it's because of lack of understanding of what the actual vaccine is. And again, these mRNA vaccines, once that mRNA molecule makes that protein, it is done, it's dissolved. There's no harm that it can do. And everyone's asking about a vaccine. Where do I get it? How do I get it? It is still in limited supply. These vaccines, especially the ones that have to be in a deep freeze, are very hard to make, hard to keep. Right now, in our first stage, we're doing our hospital workers, people who are directly dealing with COVID patients. We're also vaccinating people in long-term care facilities. We're starting to cross over into the 1B for Texas, which is anyone over 65 or 16 with at least one chronic medical condition. And also that includes pregnancy. The next phase will be 1C, and that's going to be anyone over 50 with at least one medical condition. And stage 2 and 3 is still under consideration. Stage 3 is going to probably be like your healthy college age person who's not interacting with a lot of people. So right now, everyone's asking, when can I get my vaccine? The issue is because the 2 vaccines I talked about aren't even out yet, and the deep freeze one is in limited supply. It does look like it's going to be spring to summer before we get a huge amount of vaccines out. And I know Joe Biden has said he wants 100 million people vaccinated in the first 100 days. That'll be a tall task. I know he put a lot of money behind it. But again, that's where we're looking at. So if you're in the community not dealing with COVID patients or healthcare, I would expect to be vaccinated this summer. All right, and any questions? It looks like there may be a few.
Does the immunity last?
Yes, so so if one recovers from COVID, does the body heal and begin to make surfactant again? Yes, we found that people have been able to get their lungs clear. However, there are some patients that have long-term pulmonary fibrosis from this, unfortunately. And there has been some long-term lung damage, but we're still learning about that right now, and we're still following those patients to see if they get better. And then for the immunity, they think it's going to last about 2 years after getting the vaccine. After you get COVID, your immunity should last about 6 months. Anyone that's gotten COVID and is up for the vaccine, I would recommend that they wait about a month and a half before getting the vaccine, just because you're going to be immune and you may have more of an inflammatory response with that. Individuals with MS, they would actually be put in that 1B tier. There should not be any problem with getting that mRNA vaccine. If you have MS, that's probably the one that I would get if I had that condition. All right, any other questions at all? Will Memorial Hermann work with companies that fit into the 1C? Yes, so we will. I am hoping that the government's probably going to actually set up vaccination sites as well. And you're going to see more of vaccinations done in your local CVS's, Kroger's. I don't think the hospital system can vaccinate everybody in the city with over 6 million people. So a lot of it's going to be pushed to other centers. If my recovered antibodies are still greater than 10, should I wait on the vaccine? Yeah, again, I would probably wait on the vaccine about 3 months, at least 1.5 months. But if you still have antibodies, there's no reason to go and rush out and get a vaccine. With that said, though, the vaccine would act as a booster and you would become immune for longer. So if you have it's up to you. If you have the ability to do it, maybe just go ahead. And then set up a time where my employees can come in. Yeah, so all these will get scheduled. They're actually finishing up a lot of the second round vaccines right now. When we roll more stuff out to the community, there will be individual links that will be sent out. We had a big issue with people forwarding links before, and a lot of people registering for the vaccine that probably should not have been registered. And I got to thank you. Okay, so I think that's it. All right, hot topics. I went a little bit over, but thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Langan. And next we have the Vice President of Southwest Business within Southwest Airlines to let us know about the return of their airlines to North Houston. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you and good morning. It is exciting times. I did want to say on behalf of the entire Southwest family, we hope each of you, your families, loved ones, all your employees are safe and healthy. Hopefully this is the last surge. Incredible job, Dr. Langan. Simplifying is easy for me to say. It's just amazing what our medical professionals, the researchers, the scientists, all of our first responders, what they've been able to do in such a short period of time in the grand scheme of things. I think if you look at what Dr. Langan just walked through, everything with COVID has had significant impact on travel and the airlines and the entire travel ecosystem. But also it provides a lot of optimism. I think we can all see a light at the end of the tunnel where we can all confidently go make that trip and go hug grandma and grandpa or go do that business deal. I am going to talk briefly about what Southwest is doing to keep both our employees and all of our travelers safe here. But we've got very exciting news. I think the timing is perfect in that we are coming back to North Houston. We're coming back to Houston Bush. a little known, or many of you may be aware of this, but a fun fact. So 50 years ago, this actually is our golden anniversary, June of 2021. We will turn 50 years old as an airline, but as Herb Kelleher and our founders were sitting at the St. Anthony down in San Antonio, Texas, drinking some wild turkey, I might add, getting some inspiration after a long day of practicing law. And they're dreaming up, how do we get these Texans out of the car and get them into the skies? Herb, you're crazy, let's do it. The Texas Triangle, of course, was San Antonio, Dallas, and Houston, but it was intercontinental and not Hobby. We are thrilled with our business at Hobby, but this expansion to North Houston is really going to complement that. We were even talking before we got things kicked off. There's some businesses already up near Bush that love Southwest Airlines, love our product, love our hospitality, love that bags fly free, no change fees, all the flexibility, on and on and on, and drive down to Hobby. And now this is going to make it even easier to use Southwest. So you see our initial flights, 18 daily flights, 5 nonstop, great business pattern to a lot of the markets that matter for you. And of course, you'll have all of these flights and many more and breadth down to our international network down at Hobby to kind of really complement things. We think this is just an entree to get started at Bush, and we see a lot of room to grow as the whole part of the city in northern Houston has grown over the years. Very quickly hitting on our Southwest promise, when COVID and the reality that it was hit our doorstep back in March of last year, our business continuity plans, what we were doing, needed to really be upped from a health and well-being and distancing. So we created our Southwest Promise, a multi-layered approach that really takes care of all the travelers and our employees from curbside to curbside. And you can find out a lot about our promise going to www.com/promise. But three big ones to hit on here. Face masks are required with the science. What we've learned from all the studies is really the best tool we have until you have the vaccine is those face coverings. You will not board a Southwest Airlines aircraft if you're over the age of 2, i.e. you're not a lap child, without wearing that mask and wearing it for the duration. Our flight attendants treat it like a safety belt, very, very serious. The electrostatic disinfectant spray. So it is this disinfectant is microbial spray that seeks and destroys any germs, including COVID. It's FDA and EPA approved for up to 90 days. That is the foundation for all of our cleaning. Every aircraft, every night is getting 6 hours of deep clean. And then we are cleaning through the turns between passengers getting on and getting off, all the disinfectants and wipe downs, all the key surface areas, the lavatory, the tray tables, all the key latches, your armrest, all those things. And then the HEPA air filter. That's another thing to kind of combine with the mask. So folks don't know this, but the engineering of the Boeing 737, the aircraft, it has these hospital grade, medical grade filters, and fresh oxygen is getting recycled every 2 to 3 minutes from outside the cabin and is coming through these filters. It's coming in above your head and being pushed and expelled at your feet. It is very safe. Harvard and others have done studies. You are much more likely, we hope nobody is transmitting or getting COVID, of course, but it's a much lower risk and safer environment than your local grocery store, your local hardware store, your local restaurant. And you're not seeing cases of people transferring COVID on board the planes. We have really amped up our investment in all things B2B. So Southwest Airlines selling to your businesses, we call it Southwest Business. It's dedicated account management. It's a TMC relations team. Many of you leverage agencies or travel management companies to help manage your business. We're making big investments with the GDSs. We just announced right before the ball dropped on December 31st that we're going to be industry standard with Sabre GDS that many of you use, as well as Travelport and Amadeus, investing in swabiz.com, which is a great tool to manage your travel. So we are all about making it easier for you to do business with Southwest and still delivering that warmth and hospitality from our sales team. Here's a few beautiful faces You've got a lot. We've invested a ton in Houston. It's a strategic market for us, and we put a lot of new sales account managers and leaders in the marketplace. The easiest way to get in touch with us, you see it right there, southwestbusiness.com, and we can connect you and make sure you're getting the full value. So that's the quick sales pitch. We're excited. April 12th, we'll be here before you know it, and we can't wait to start service down at Houston Intercontinental.
Thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate that. One thing is, if anybody has any questions and answers, because of time, we have a lot of great information today. If you will put your question in the Q&A, then the speaker can answer it from there. So thank you so much. And before we go on, I would like to thank our other co-presenting sponsor, Rosewood Funeral Home and Cemetery. And unfortunately, Jess was unable to be with us today, Jess Fields, but thank you so much to Rosewood Funeral Home. Now we are very excited to hear from the president of JSL Foods that have built a reputation as the premier consumer choice for noodles, Asian wrappers, and baked goods. Welcome, Teiji. Tell us more about JSL Foods.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I'd first like to thank Carol for reaching out to me and for you, Connie, for allowing me to participate today. My name is Teiji Kawana. I'm president of JSL Foods, and I'll give you a brief background of our company. First and foremost, we are a family company. My grandfather started our food manufacturing business in Los Angeles in 1938. And with help and support from the community, luck and a lot of hard work, they managed to kind of keep the business going. My father joined the company in the mid 1950s. My brothers and I joined in the late 1980s, and I'm proud to say that my daughter joined our company about a year ago. So we are fourth generation manufacturing. We manufacture a variety of different products, primarily noodles and pastas, but also some bakery products. And we sell these products through retail chains, supermarket chains throughout the United States under our Fortune and our Twin Dragon brand. We also sell to a segment that we call industrial, where we would sell our products to companies that would take the noodles or grains, add them to a vegetable blend, a meat blend, and some sauce, and they would put it into a lot of the pasta or the noodle kits that you would see in the supermarkets as well. And our third leg of our sales distribution is what we call food service, and that's basically supporting many restaurant chains throughout the United States. We have 4 manufacturing facilities in Los Angeles, and we are very excited about opening our 5th facility in Humble. We're looking forward to opening it hopefully in February. We, of course, were delayed because of COVID, but I think we are now at a point where we can formally open up our doors in Humble. I'm confident that in 2021, we're going to create a very strong and lasting relationship with Humble and with the greater Houston community. I don't have any slides to show a lot of the products that we manufacture, but I'll just continue to say that what is important to us is the partnerships that we have, not only with our customers, but as important, our vendor partners. And many of our vendor partners are the same as us, family businesses. We receive our flour from a lot of family farms in the Colorado areas. Most of our sauce packets come from a family company located in North Carolina. We have our cookie flavors from a small company in Los Angeles. And that is important to us as we build roots in the areas that we live in. And I'm hopeful that as we start our new development here in Humboldt, that we start to create deep roots in this community. The other part that we recently created and I'm proud of is we started what we call a Fortune Cares program, and that gives us an opportunity to partner with local community outreach programs, where we have the opportunity to provide some of our products to the local community and the local food banks. And we've started that program here in Los Angeles. And I was recently introduced to Ms. Garrison from HAAM, and we look forward to developing a similar partnership with that organization as well. You know, we're here, we want to be good neighbors, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of this BizCom chat today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Teiji. Partnership Lake Houston, as well as many, many other businesses in our area, owe credit to our next speaker, Sam Schrade of DNA Studios. Without his help and expertise, our video and streaming needs would have been very dim. Sam, please share with us the big things happening at DNA Studios.
Thanks so much, Connie. As we say hello from the other room, it's great to have you guys here. And a little update about what's going on with DNA Studios. Let's see if I can add me. Can you guys see me okay? We started in 2005 right here in Humboldt, Texas as a media company, and we've started to grow and grow and grow some more. And so we've got some exciting announcements, mostly in the fact that we are expanding our business into a new industrial business park here in the Humboldt area. I can show you some information about that right now. Real quick about DNA Studios. We started here in Humboldt, Texas. We provide production and broadcast facilities for different networks and clients coast to coast, and also do our live streaming, which is now going around the world, which is really kind of exciting. So we are excited to announce that we are building a new 8,000 square foot facility right down the street in Humboldt at the intersection kind of close to South Houston and Isaacs Road. So here's a picture of the new development. It's currently not in place. So you'll see a lot of woods and stuff like that as they are clearing land. I can do a little snapshot of kind of where the spot is in this area right here. That's the shaded blue. So it's Isaacs Road and South Houston is where we're going to be building our new facility. Let's see, we're excited. We did a groundbreaking a couple weeks ago, and this is a little shot of some of the photos from our groundbreaking. We thank the people that were able to come out on such short notice as we start the new facility. Here's a quick cross section of what we're doing. So, you know, we do a lot of network broadcasting on site at stadiums, but we're seeing with the shift in what's happening in sports and events that we will be doing a lot of broadcasting out of our studios and in a technology called REMI, remote integration. So this is a cross section of what the new studio is going to look like. 8,000 square feet. We're really excited about it. It's going to house everything that we need. It's going to be very state of the art. We are really super excited about being able to keep the business here in Humboldt and the community and with all of our friends that are down the street and in the Lake Houston area. We'll have a nice big studio here, as you can see, kind of right there in the middle. Lots of meeting space, a lot of covered area for our TV trucks, and also a garage to keep some of our equipment and stuff like that. Here's a 3D rendering of kind of what the entrance would look like when you come in. So we're real excited about having our own building, being able to produce, which at the end of the day, once we finish all the phases and the building's complete, it'll be over 8,000 square feet worth of workable space. And get this, we will, once everything's done, be able to host and produce up to 12 events per day out of our new broadcast facility. That's 12 separate events that could be all over the country. in one day. So we're super excited about the expansion and things like that. Here's another little cross section of what we'll have. And also excited to announce too that this little area right here that's highlighted is a portion of our building that is 100% for lease. So it'll be 9 office buildings, approximately 3,000 square feet, that is available for lease. And so you can contact me and I can put you in contact with our broker. If you are looking for brand new office space, about 9 offices, kitchen, meeting rooms, restrooms, big open area in the middle for you guys to do kind of whatever you want. Plus, in the future, if you need more space, you have all upstairs as well. So a total of maybe even 6,000 square feet. So space available for lease, contact me if you're interested in that. So once again, real excited, as you can tell, about the expansion of DNA Studios and everything that's going to be happening. Building should be done hopefully around May of 2021, so a couple months from now is what we will be moving in and starting to build out our studio portion. So that's about it. I will send it back over to, there's my contact information at the bottom of the screen if you want to contact us about anything or if you have any questions, because I know we are kind of in a hurry for today. So I'm going to send it back to you, Miss Kane.
Thank you so much, Sam. We appreciate all that you do for our community. It's great, and can't wait to see that new studio. As mentioned before, we could not present programs such as this without having sponsors. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize our gold sponsors for the Humble BizCom. Chick-fil-A at Wilson Road and Beltway 8 is a proud sponsor of the partnership Lake Houston's Humble BizCom. In case you didn't know, you can order through the Chick-fil-A app, and a smiling face of the Chick-fil-A team will bring your order straight to you. We also want to thank HEB Market at North Park. Don't forget to prep for your Super Bowl 55. Stop by the HEB Market at North Park for party trays and game day treats. While you're there, be sure to grab some beer to go with your fresh boiled crawfish that will be prepared by Market at North Park's Boil House, February 6th and 7th. And then the market at Redemption Square is happening this Saturday from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Come enjoy live music and vendors offering food, art, jewelry, and everything in between. In the mood for some Italian? Come try Redemption Square's newest restaurants, Boca Italian Kitchen and Lupo Pizzeria. So we have plenty of places to choose from to get some yummy foods. That sounds good for most of us. Now we would like to hear about the Charles Bender Performing Arts Center right here in Humble. And you may not know this, but there's a wide range of events happening for us here in Humble, from classical ballet to rock concerts that are performed at the Performing Arts Center. And I'm pleased to introduce Jennifer Wooden to tell us more. Good morning, Jennifer. Jennifer, I think you might be muted.
Unmute.
Oh, okay. So I was telling Sam congratulations, and I kept trying to figure out where you guys are building because there's a cemetery right there, and I'm concerned. And it's not on the cemetery, I'm sure. I'm going to share my screen. I am on the agenda to talk about Bender, but I usually talk about all things Humble. So let me grab my screen here. Can you guys see? Yes. All right. So this is all about visiting Humble. At the beginning of the pandemic, everything was just about shutting down and telling everyone to go home and be with their families. And while I still know that that's the safest, it's just not what we're doing right now. And so as a city, we found a way for people to get out and still remain safe. Obviously, we need to wear our masks. And so for the Humble Civic Center in particular, it's such a large space that people who still needed to have events, we were able to open our space to them. We have enough room to social distance. And so we set up for social distancing. We require masks. when you come in. Once people are inside with their families, we don't police that, but we have full facility cleaning every day. The common areas are cleaned frequently. And so we've opened our spaces and have no longer said you have to stay home right now. And so we have several events going on here in Humble. One of the things that we tried in November and the community loved it was a farmer's market over at Schott Park, which is right on Will Clayton Parkway. We are now doing this monthly on the second Sunday. So if you guys live in the area, it's a massive farmer's market, and it should be farmer's market and more actually. I think it's if you make it, bake it, build it, or grow it, you can be at the farmer's market. And so people were really considerate about social distancing. And so it was neat that no one had to police that. People were just happy to be out buying local and getting fresh food. So every second Sunday of the month, and the next one is February 14th. We had a huge change during the pandemic. We shut down our senior activity program. That building was just across the lawn from the Civic Center. We have now chosen to demo that building, and we integrated that program here into the Civic Center. And so while a lot of senior programs have not gotten started again yet, we really thought it was imperative that we got our seniors out of the house and moving again, because while they were physically safe, they were really just getting lonely and not being able to get out and move and get to see people. So we have all kinds of safety measures in place, but we have tons of activities. We have one of the most vibrant senior activity programs, I think, in the city. And so there's tons of exercise platforms. We have pickleball, we have yoga, we have Zumba. I think it's a chair yoga. We have line dancing, a putting green for the men who complained that there wasn't enough for them, I think. Bingo, bunco, bridge, guitar, a guitar session. Anyway, it's an entire list of activities Monday through Thursday here at the Civic Center. So if you have anyone 55 years or older, or if you are 55 years and older, you're welcome to join us. And then there's the Bender Theater, which I really came to talk about. We delayed our season start. And so our season opener is in February, and we are kicking off February with 3 shows. We have blocked off every other row. And what we found is that when people were renting the building for other shows, people just social distance on their own. And so you don't sit close to anybody who's not within your party or within your family. But we are starting off with Aladdin, which is Valentine's Day weekend. The Fab Five, we're doing 2 shows. And so for the first couple of shows, we are still at 50%, but we're also doing 2 shows just so people can feel comfortable. You know, there's enough tickets to go around, but then also offering 2 separate shows, a matinee and an evening. And Night at the Ballet, we've had this for, I guess, 3 years now. This will be the 4th year maybe. And this is a sellout show. This company, Vitaka, has a pre-professional company, but they are, this will be a premiere for their professional side. And I'm really looking forward to these beautiful dancers on the Bender stage. And then for the rest of our season, the Humble Rodeo art display is there every January. This year, it's a private showing and a private reception, only for those people who submitted artwork, but that's generally during the Cookoff and the rodeo time, and it's open to the public, but this year it's private. And then we have the ones I talked about, Aladdin and Fab Five, Night at the Ballet. We have Sarah Grace and Allie Venable. They are 2 blues artists, right about the same age, like lower 20s, and they're amazing. 2 fireballs that are going to meet on the Bender stage, and that's going to be incredible. Hamilton Loomis and Kenny Neal. Kenny Neal is coming back this summer. Then we'll have a dueling piano show this summer as well, which is awesome. And then a few more bands. For the September 11th, a 9/11 tribute, Derek Spence, who does a George Strait tribute, is coming on 9/11. So you guys will definitely want to be there. And then we have a huge holiday show planned for December. So you'll want to join us. If you've not been to Bender, you are missing out on some good stuff. The Humble Museum opened, I guess, about a couple of months ago, but the Humble Museum will be open every time there is a Bender show. So you can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But it's also, I have the hours here that they're open, but just keep in mind that they're open just prior to every vendor show. And then here at the Civic Center, we have a lot. I'm going to zoom through all that we have for the next couple of months. Right now, happening right now at this moment is the auction for the for Humble ISD. The Cookoff and Rodeo are happening in the next couple of weeks. We have 2 gun shows coming here, 2 different companies, but one in February and then one in March. And then we have been looking forward to this. They've rescheduled several times because of COVID, but a Lake Houston Home and Garden Show. And they are launching for the first time on this side of town. And so we're super excited to not have to drive to the Woodlands or, you know, to Sugarland or something for this home and garden show. And let me touch briefly on Good Oil Days. We are planning and we are moving forward with all the plans for Good Oil Days. And it's we've moved it into a 1-day festival. So we'll have a street festival from 10 to 4:30. Private party, well, not private parties, parties on Main, which all the businesses or a lot of the businesses will open up their doors so you can meet the business owners, and it's an in-between party. The in-between party is a party between the festival and the street dance. And so it's from 4:30 to 6:30 where the businesses will open and you get to go in and meet and have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and then come back onto the street for the street dance that evening. And that's, excuse me, April 10th. And then lastly, I'll touch on this before Corey talks about it, but I'm the engagement chair for Humble. And what used to be, I guess the 5K, 10K run for the chamber is now a virtual run. And the challenge is to discover Lake Houston. And so though I'm the engagement chair for Humble, I will be trying to run every route throughout Lake Houston. So Kingwood, Humble, Atascocita, Summerwood. But for here in Humble, I've highlighted 3 routes. There's Shot Park and Will Clayton Parkway, which has a 2-mile trail. Downtown Humble, on the Run website, you'll find a 1-mile route where you can discover several places in Humble that you probably haven't seen before. And then lastly, there's Jesse Jones Park with a 5K path. And I believe that wraps up my presentation. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. As all of you see, we don't have to go very far to have lots of fun. We have plenty to do right here in our own yards. Next, we would like to hear from Jerri Monbaron and want to know, are you ready for some barbecue, rodeo, and live music that supports a great cause? Let us have the details, Jerri.
Yeah, we are excited about this. It is right around the corner. So we're going to start off with the barbecue cook-off on January 29th and 30th. We have about 115 cook teams that are ready to compete for the ultimate bragging rights. And then we also have a few spots left in our kids cooking challenge. So if you have some budding kid cookers at home, bring them out and they can show off their talents too. And then the following weekend, February 5th and 6th, is our long-standing community tradition, the Humble Rodeo. And we have a great entertainment lineup this year. In fact, Sam, can you play the video for us that's going to show our entertainment lineup? Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. So as you can see, we are thrilled to get these superb entertainers this year. They have already made videos. They are thrilled about coming to Humble, Texas. So we are looking forward to that. Both weekends have many opportunities for family fun. So we just invite you to check out the website, humblerodeo.com, to see the schedule of activities and where to buy tickets. I do want to let you know about a change of plans we were just notified about. The Carnival Company is not going to be able to make it out to Humble this year, and we are sad about that. But the company we use, Wagner Carnival, is a small business operation, and they have been financially impacted over the state closures during this past year, and they just can't afford to make it out this year. So while we're extremely disappointed to not have the carnival, we understand that many of our small businesses have been negatively impacted this year, and we look forward to having the carnival back next year. But we still have lots of fun events planned, and I just want to let you know that we are working with the city of Humble and Harris County to follow all local health recommendations and the governor's orders to make these 2 weekends a safe one for our community. Our community has experienced several successful outdoor events, such as graduation and sporting events. So we're planning for these 2 weekends of outdoor events to follow suit. Our guests will be asked to wear masks on the shuttle buses, in the Cookoff tents that are closed in spaces, and then also to get into the rodeo. And there will be hand sanitizing stations all throughout the facilities too. And just remember, proceeds from the Humble Rodeo and Barbecue Cookoff support the Humble ISD Education Foundation, which supports our Humble ISD educators and students. So come on out and have a great time for a great cause. And I'm going to just throw out one more plug. Applications are now open for the 2021 Humble ISD Distinguished Alumni Award. So if you know of an Humble ISD alumni who has excelled in their field, made significant contributions to the community, and serves as a positive role model, please nominate them today by going to humbleisdfoundation.org. And the nominations will close Friday, February 19th. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerri. That's exciting news, and we can hardly wait for all the events to happen. Partnership Lake Houston has proved that it never backs down from a challenge. Their traditional 10K, 5K, which typically was in September, is now Walk, Run, Discover Lake Houston. Here to get us inspired and off our seats is the chairman of this event, my friend, Corey Turner. Hello to Corey.
Thanks, Connie. And good morning, I guess almost afternoon, everyone. As stated, my name is Corey Turner, and I am both honored and very excited to be the chair for the Walk, Run, Discover Lake Houston event. Some of you may remember I chaired this a few years in the past, and when I heard it was going virtual and there was another opportunity to help out, I had to answer the call. And so we've got a lot of the same features of our previous event that everyone has become accustomed to. We'll still have our 10K, we'll still have our 5K, and we'll have our 1 mile run for fun for our kiddos. But I want to highlight 3 things that going virtual has allowed us to do for our community, and the things we're very excited about. First, and probably the biggest change, is instead of a one-day event, this will now take place throughout the month of March. And so anytime between March 1st and 31st, participants can be a part of this event. So for some, that might mean just completing the 5K or the 1 mile or the 10K within that window. For our more competitive and more serious participants, they can run and walk throughout the entire month and upload their best time, and it'll go to our leaderboard to see who our winners will be. And we've also added a new category for couch potatoes. And so for those who just want to support the event, support our community, you can register and you can watch Netflix or binge watch This Is Us, whatever you enjoy on TV, and log back in and say completed. And so with the longer event and more opportunities, we've tried to create something that everyone in our community can enjoy. The second change is that we used to run up and down Lake Houston Parkway. We've now broken this event out into 4 different quadrants, and that includes Humble, Atascocita, Kingwood, and the Summerwood areas. And Jennifer, our engagement chair, outlined the opportunities here in the Humble area. And our thought process here is that, again, we want to discover the unique area we call Lake Houston. And so in each of those different areas, you'll find various routes that will be on our website, or you can also use any running app and run in your neighborhood if you like. And so again, we have a longer event. We have more opportunities and ways to participate. And then thirdly, one I'm really excited about is we've added an option to support a local charity. And so if you'll check out our website, we have 10 local charities that go above and beyond to help support our community. And now you can participate in this event while also making a donation to one of those 10 charities. So we've got a great event. We've got an awesome team of volunteers working hard to make this a success. And it wouldn't be possible without sponsors. So I do want to thank Memorial Hermann Northeast. Memorial Hermann always steps up for our community, and they are our race bib sponsor for this event. They're also our first corporate team to sign up. And so what we're looking for runners, we're looking for corporate teams and community organizations to come together and participate, all for the sake of discovering Lake Houston. I'd also like to thank Primrose for stepping up as our kids 1 mile run sponsor, and Takis is our presenting sponsor for this year's event. So we've got the event, we've got the team, we've got the plan, we've got our sponsors. The only thing missing is you. So check out our website at Walk Run Discover Lake Houston, and we look forward to making this a fun event that our community can be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corey. Sounds like we have something for everyone in this event, so hopefully everybody in the community will participate. Now I have a final thank you for our sponsors. As I mentioned, we could not do this without you, so we certainly want to thank our presenting sponsors, Memorial Hermann Northeast and Rosewood Funeral Home, and our gold sponsors, Chick-fil-A, Wilson and Beltway 8, HEB North Park 59, McCord Development and Generation Park. We'd also like to take a moment to give a special thanks to DNA Studios and Sam Schrade for producing our virtual BizComs, luncheons, and meetings this year. Orchestrating virtual events such as these require expertise, and DNA made sure that they came together. Thank you, Sam, so much. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Our next BizCom will be the Atascocita BizCom, and it will be held virtually, Zoom, on Thursday, February 25th at 11 a.m. Next week, we will be recognizing the everyday heroes that serve and protect our community at the partnership's Lake Houston Peace Officers and Firefighters of the Year. This virtual event will be held at noon via Zoom on Tuesday, January 26th. Please join us for this free event. And thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.